Hello my Tesla Maniacs and welcome back to Model 3 UK. So today I've been sent very kindly by Hansshow one of their products to review again, and it is the heads-up display for the Model 3 and the Model Y. So currently, out of 188 of the top most requested features for Teslas, a heads-up display is number 11. So this is obviously something that doesn't come stock with the car, so Hansshow have taken it upon themselves to actually make one for you to install. So this is it here. This panel here is not black. It's actually like a glass, a transparent perspex, so you can actually see through it, and it sits on top of your dashboard. So we're going to be reviewing this. I'm going to be doing an install as well on this, but let's have a quick look around the box, do a quick unboxing. Nothing really exciting there. There's some information here. So you've got, it says Tesla Model 3 Specialized, concealed wiring, tidy and clean, fast installation, just 20 minutes apparently, automatic photo sensitive design. Now what I believe this means is that when it's dark, the display will dim, so it's not blaring, glaring and bright, and it's a synchronized projection. Again, I believe that means that whatever is displaying on your screen, i.e. the speed, is exactly in sync with the display on here, so there's no lag, and it just also says simple but elegant design. I'm looking forward to the fast installation at 20 minutes. So yeah, because sometimes I get a bit worried about installations being a bit complicated and ripping my car apart and stuff like that, but it's not really. There's some details on the side here for you to contact them, like address and telephone, email, that sort of stuff as well, and there's a logo there which is a Tesla one. Yeah, Hansshow do prefer to contact you via WhatsApp, so if you do have any questions or concerns or whatever, you can email them, but they respond better from WhatsApp. So let's have a quick look at it, shall we? If I take it off, it just slips up over here, and there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, obviously I'm only just messing, so let's have a quick look at what we got here and at the device itself. If we can just lift this out. Okay, so we've got two boxes, obviously some sort of microfiber cloth here. I'm guessing this is for cleaning this display, and a spludger. So there's a few panels I think we've got to take off here in the car to actually wire this in. I'm guessing this is the wiring itself. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, there's your wiring loom itself. This kind of connects up between, I want to call it the OBD port, but I could be wrong about that, but it's some sort of device which passes information around, and that must go into the actual back of the device itself. Nothing else in there. Okay, let's put them aside. Let's have a look what we got in here. Okay, so here's the device itself. Okay, first thing I pull out, this is a sticky pad. So once you peel this off here, it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of tacky, but I don't think it'd leave any sticky residue on your car. If not, it's not terribly sticky, so it's not going to leave any marks or anything like that long term. Here's the device itself, if I can get it out gently without destroying the bag at least anyway. Yeah, so here we go, nice little Tesla logo there on the front of it. This obviously pops up and you will view it like this in your car. Yeah, it's quite subtle. Obviously this is kind of like a plasticky, almost rubbery texture. Feels good actually. It's a nice quality, and there's some sort of little switch here. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's brightness. Little hole there, could be a microphone. No, it won't be a microphone, maybe a speaker, I'm not sure. And I'm guessing this is the on-off switch here. I'm not sure, but we'll find that out later, because as I said, I'm new to this. So yeah, we'll go ahead with the install, and then we can do the review afterwards as well. So obviously this bit that sticks up here, so I didn't show you this, is the screen. This will obviously project the image that it's showing you on here, and you'll be able to see your display, such as speed indicators, your battery level, and what gear you're in. I hate to use the word gear because I don't see the Teslas as having gears, but yeah. Anyway, let's crack on with it. Right, so the first thing you're going to want to do before installing this is to check the weather, as you will need to be opening your doors, as you need to power down the car, so you need to have the doors open and the windows rolled down. And if you have no cover, such as my car here, nothing underneath it, and it rains, yeah, you're going to get your car inside and your doors very wet. So as I can hear thunder rumbling, and I'm hoping you can hear that as well, I'm going to have to postpone this till a little bit later. Yep, It's a good job I did not start the install, as yet it is proper coming down. Right guys, so day 2, and there appears to be a bit of a break in the weather, so we're going to attempt this install today. As you can see, a little bit of stormy clouds ahead, but it should be fine to carry on with the install. So the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to need to power down the car, but before you do that, I strongly recommend that you open your doors that you're going to be wanting to work on, and roll down the windows as well, because once you power the car down, I don't believe this will work properly until you power it back up again, but you need to install some cables first. So in case you've forgotten how that works, what you need to do is go onto your main menu system down here, go down to safety and security, and you have the power off button. So are you sure you want to power off? Place foot on brake to turn back on. Okay, cool, brilliant. So power off, and there we go. Now we can start work, which actually begins in the back of the car, hence why I recommend you open both the front and the back doors. Okay, so here we are in the back seat of the Model 3. This is your center console here, and the first thing we're going to want to do is remove this panel here. What I find is the easiest way is to go in from the top here and just pry it down, because it is a little bit of a stiff one. That's what she said. Right, sorry about that, my mom just called. Typical timing. Yeah, so anyway, so you want to put a little bit of a flathead screwdriver in here, and you can see there's a little tiny like plastic clip here. I believe you just push that in, and then this should come out. Oh, there you go. Do be careful with that, because that's quite a stiff one to get out. And I was worried I was going to slice into the power cables here with my screwdriver, but no, I think I've managed to get away with that one all right. So just be careful with that bit there. Next, what we're going to do then is we are going to, let me tilt you down a bit so you can see this better. We're going to add this little pit connector in between the two here, so we're splicing effectively. So just make sure you get the right connector into the right end. These cables are pretty stiff and firm. There's a lot of stuff to compact in here, so I'm going to have to try and figure out how I want to do this. There we go. So that one does click in there. It's just very stiff. Okay, and then what we're going to do with this cable here is we're going to run it up the driver's side, just inside the trim. Okay, so I don't know if you can see down there, I've ran the wire just alongside my driver's seat and brought it to the point where the plastic here meets the kind of carpet area. Okay, so in some installs that I've seen done, people pull this whole sidewall here. So just to give you a perspective, here we are. This whole sidewall, they start down here and they pull it out and they thread the cable in just at the top here. But I cannot get this to come off at all. It is rock solid. I've tried jamming this in here and pulling it, and I just can't seem to get it to move at all. So what I'm going to do is to get it towards the front, because we're trying to reach it underneath here. I found that I've got a little bit of leverage down the bottom here, so I am threading my cable down under here. So what I'm finding is this, I can actually push down the carpet and push the cable in down here. So that's what I'm doing, and once I put my car mats down, that will completely hide this. But it also means that it's very accessible, so if I ever want to remove this for some reason very quickly and conveniently, I can do so. Okay, just before I go any further, I wanted to have a quick look about removing this panel, so I made sure I had enough basically slack on the cable. So my Model 3 seems to have more clips than I've seen other people's have, at least. Maybe this is a new design. So you got these little push pins. So basically you have a little tab, like a little flat edge, and you basically put your screwdriver in there and you just prise the pin out, and then the whole thing will just drop out from above. So I've got 3 of them. I've got one here, I have another one here, and I've got one over here. So I had to remove those 3, and now I've also got a security screw here. I'm guessing that's a Torx 20. It is Torx 20, this one as well. So you are going to need one of these little security screw kits if you haven't already got one, in order to complete this install, I believe. There we go, and the screws out. There we go. Wow. So I've ran my cable along the edge here. Once I put my car mat down, this will cover this cable fine. I've managed to actually get it behind the panel along this bit, because it's a bit more squidgy and soft. And I've run it all the way up into here, and I've just poked it behind this corner piece here. So then it comes out here, It's this cable, and I'm running it along over here. Now, this is the bit you've got to be really careful with. Obviously, you do not want this to interfere with your brake pedal at all. So what I'm doing is I'm actually tucking it underneath up here. So it's actually kind of going underneath this bit, or should I say inside this bit. You can see now I'm running it along here and out to the side. Okay, so next we want to remove this panel here in the corner. So again, taking my spudger tool, poking this in, should be a case of just levering it out. There we go. Obviously it's sort of tucked in behind the seal, so we must remember to put that back the way we found it afterwards. Oh, there we go. And now the cable which would run along here, we can stick up inside here and run it to this groove that runs along around the dashboard. Right, so technically when I plug this in and power up the car, I should be able to see if this thing works. So before I put all the panels and everything back on underneath, I am going to plug this in just to make sure that I've got everything wired up okay. I don't want to put all the panels back on, screw everything in, and obviously find that something's not working. So I've just plugged that in temporarily there. I'll sort all the cabling out afterwards, and I'm going to power back up the car. Let's do that and just see what we get. So obviously it says put your foot on the brake pedal. Okay, and right, as we can see now, there is definitely something on the screen there. And it's actually showing the car doors open. That's brilliant. Didn't know it did that. And it's a nice colour display as well. So that's looking good, and that's looking like we've hooked everything up correctly. So I am now going to finish off tidying up all the cables. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some double-sided sticky tape down in this groove and do it as tidy as I can, so that this cable doesn't keep popping back up, because once you put it in, I have seen many people, it just keeps on popping up like this, and this cable running around, it looks horrible. So I'm going to do my very best to keep it stuck down here. All the excess loose cable I'm going to basically hide down in here. Just getting a rough idea of where I want this, so I know how much slack to give myself along here. So I think roughly around about there for me, because I'm driving like this, is about where I'd like it. Right, so everything's back in now. So the case on the back there is back on, so all the wires are nice and tidied away. The cabling around here is, you can just see a little bit of the cable down there, but it goes underneath the mat, and some of it's even shoved partially underneath the bit there, because I just can't move this. It's, don't know why. And yeah, obviously the panel on here is back on, the light's back in and plugged in, this panel's back on here, and I've stuck the cable down with double-sided tape and tidied up all the loose bits. So from my perspective, there's no sticky white bits. The hood is on. Now I've just noticed a couple of things about this. So on camera, for some reason the display looks very small, and no matter how close I get to it, see how it stays really tiny on the screen? It's not like that though from my perspective. With my eye, that display is literally the size of the glass. So I'm trying to obviously show you what it looks like, but it looks really, really tiny. Don't take that as gospel. It is actually like much bigger on the glass. From my perspective. The other thing I've noticed as well, I will talk to Hansshow about this, I don't know if you can see this because obviously again it's so tiny. I've got my left-hand door, sorry, my right-hand door open, but on here it's showing the left-hand door is open. I've made sure I've got the cables the right way. There's only one where they can go in, but yeah, it's almost like this is built for left-hand drive vehicles. Okay, so some great news this morning. I've actually been speaking to Hansshow, and they have told me how to fix the left-hand right-hand driver door problem. So now I have actually fixed it. Currently I've got my right-hand door open, and of course it's displaying as right-hand door open on the display, which is fantastic. So I didn't realize that the little dial on the side here, this not only does it go backwards and forwards, which is what I was doing, going, oh, it doesn't do anything, it depresses inwards. And when you depress it inwards, you get to go through a load of different settings, such as the time, and this one being the car door, so you can tell it which one, you know, it is. So that's basically the solution to the problem. So you press it in to go through the different options, and then flick it up or down, depending on which option you want. Then you just leave it for a second or two and it sets it. So yeah, as you can see there now, I have got the right hand door open, and I've got the right hand door open. If I shut my right hand door, it's done it correctly. Let's change it, and I'm going to open the left hand door, and there's the left hand door open. Brilliant. So yeah, that's the problem solved. The other thing I noticed about this as well is it displays the battery in the percentage, even though I've set my car to show it as miles. So that's quite nice. I actually quite like that. I can see not only the percentage, but I can also see the mileage. This cable is popping up a little bit. I might have to put a little bit more sticky tape down there, because I imagine over time this is going to come, you know, loose a little bit. But at the moment, I'm not upset with the cable, how much I can see of it. I can't really see much of it at all. That's kind of my perspective where I've got the camera now. The other thing I like as well is because this is just kind of like a USB cable at the back here, if I ever go somewhere and I'm thinking it's a bit of a dodgy area, I don't want to leave this on display because someone might try and nick it. So I try and break in and nick it. I can just unplug it, no problem. Just pull it out and I can just fold this flat and then just stick it in the glove box. So to summarise, do I like it? Yeah, I do like it. I do feel that I can see my speed without having to look down here, and as soon as I look down here I'm like, oh, look at the pretty cars, you can see all the cars, and I get distracted by that, and I sometimes feel that takes my eyes off the road a little bit too long, because when I look down here my peripheral vision doesn't really allow me to see that far ahead of me. So if there were cars that were stopped way further ahead, I just don't think I would necessarily see them, and I think that's why a lot of people rear end cars on, you know, roads and motorways and stuff like that, because they look down to tweak their radio or change their heater, and they end up basically slamming into the back of the car in front, because their peripheral vision when they're looking down here didn't allow them to see that far ahead. And for me, looking down here for the speed takes my vision away from the road. So yeah, I feel that this is a safety thing, it's a good thing to have, and I like it. I do like it, and it does have a little bit of a cool factor. It does have that sort of semi fighter pilot look about it, so you know, you've got the heads-up display. That's kind of a thing, I suppose, with, you know, fighter jets and even modern day aircraft such as the Boeing 787. So I have heard a rumour that this is either updatable, or they want to make it updatable, as they want to add things to it, such as the satellite navigation directions. So at the moment I've got the sat nav on, but none of the directions are actually appearing on the display in front of me. I was kind of hoping that I would see something like, you know, turn left here or get off here, but no, it's not showing anything on the display itself. And for those of you wondering as well, does the display stay on or show anything when the car's switched off? Nope. As soon as that display went off on the center, so did the actual heads-up display as well, so there's nothing on there either. Here we go, guys. I thought I'd just pop out in the evening, have a quick look at it outside so you can see it in the dark. This is kind of a, well, internal view, so you can see it popping up there. There's no more reflection in the glass at all. Obviously it was not a deal breaker anyway, but it's even less noticeable. But that is really nice there at night, right in front of me. Let's have a little zoom in. There you go. That is really cool, and it looks wonderful at night. Very, 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 very clear. I mean, it was clear in the day, but it's even clearer now. So guys, now that I have finally fixed the problem with the driver's door, thanks to Hanshow's help, they got back in touch with me via WhatsApp very quickly and told me how. I'm really happy with the product. I probably would give it like about 8 out of 10 now. It's what we've been asking for. As I said, it's quite high up on the list from Tesla owners as a requested feature to have a heads-up display. Naturally, we want it built into the car, but because that is just not a thing, at least at the moment, this is the best alternative. I do like it. Am I going to keep it? Yeah, 100%. I'm going to leave it there. Obviously, if I'm in a dodgy area, I can just unplug it via the cable at the back and then just hide the actual device itself, and no one's going to be none the wiser. So I do have problems trying to sometimes keep the speed. Say I'm in a 30 and I know there's speed cameras around. Yes, I could use the traffic aware cruise control, but if there's cars parked up on the side of the road, we all know that sometimes the Tesla will look at that and go, there's cars there, and it'll just come to a complete stop. And trying to keep it at 30 can be very, very challenging, because it's so sensitive, at least the performance one which I've got, to speed, and it can accelerate to like 40 miles an hour, and you don't even realize it some of the times, because it's just, there's no gears, there's no engine sounds, and you can just creep over it. And if you're going past speed cameras and stuff like that, it's very easy to go over the speed limit. There's some certain areas where I'm very, 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 very cautious, and I'm constantly having to sort of like look down from my line of sight to check that I'm not going over the speed. And I said, I can't really use autopilot or traffic aware cruise control, because it will see the cars parked up on the side and it will stop, and that just defeats the object of it. So you have to be very, very careful. So having that speedo just right below my line of sight is perfect. It's what I'm used to in my Honda, being a speedo just below there, so I really like it. So guys, if you are in the market to pick up this device or any of the other devices on Hanssshow's website, they've recently got the rings, the RFID rings, so you can unlock and lock your car just simply by the ring on your finger. So you haven't even got to pull out your phone. So if you do ever have those problems with your phone where it's not woken up and you try and open the car door and it's not opening, you've got the ring on your finger as an RFID. So it's basically the same thing as the cards that you get with the car to unlock it. You just tap your ring by the actual center pillar over here, and the car will lock or unlock for you. That's a new feature that Hansshow have got. They've got some other stuff as well, including interior lighting kits as well. But anyway, long story short, I digress. If you are looking at buying something from their website, there's a 20% discount code now on the screen that's only valid for 1 week. So if you do want to get hold of something from there, such as their power lift gate, frunk and trunk struts, the ring, or the heads-up display, 20% discount using the code on screen now for 1 week only. So I strongly recommend you get in there and buy one. I really want to thank Hansshow again for sending me this product to review. I really like it. I am going to keep it on display. Don't forget, guys, to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down and subscribe. And also, if you're new to the channel, there is a Model 3 UK Facebook page as well, so you can go onto there and ask questions. There's a plethora of people on there with loads of information for you. Also in the description, there's a load of other discount codes and referral codes, so if you are getting into the EV market and you want to buy an accessory for your car, or you're converting to, say, a new energy supplier, I've got a load of discount codes down below, so check out the description. I suppose all that remains to say, guys, is thanks once again for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now.